We're here at the One-to-One Mining Conference in New York. Tell us about SilverOne and your project.
Well, SilverOne essentially didn't really get started until the middle of 2016, and it was a company that was formed essentially around 3 Mexican silver projects that were acquired from First Mining Finance. Now, as the company moved along in its development, it became a kind of a realization that we needed another project to put into the company. And we sought out the old Candelaria past-producing silver mine and did a deal with Silver Standard in the early 2017. Since then, we have developed the Candelaria. We have drilled the old heap leach pads. It had been producing up until 1998 by Kinross Gold, and they only shut down because of the low silver prices after the collapse of the tech boom back in the 1998 to 2000 range. Then, in essence, we drilled the old pads, and we looked at the fact that the old grades were very high on the old leach pads, and we're currently doing metallurgical testing to determine can we, and at what cost, can we recover silver from the old leach pads. There's 2 other opportunities at Candelaria as well. It used to be the highest grade producer of silver in the state of Nevada, and we are looking at some high-grade intercepts that were drilled off by Silver Standard when they acquired it from Kinross back in 2002. And we're also looking at increasing the amount of mineralization because there's a lot of the long strike, old historic workings that date back to the mid-1800s. So we're very busy essentially developing the old Candelaria silver mine.
And how is the development of the mine being financed?
Well, essentially, the financings that we have done to date, we've done 2 financings, one on inception of the company, and then the second one was another $4.3 million financing that we did last October. So that gives us enough money to take us through, do our metallurgical testing, start on an economic study at Candelaria. Also, it allows us to do some assessment on one of our Mexican silver projects that we like a lot. And also, we're looking at potential acquisitions of other historic silver producing areas that have been totally ignored for the last 50 years. So we're good for another year, but we may seek out additional sources of financing before then, should we wish to advance and, say, test some of the higher grade zones at Candelaria, etc.
And so what are the main opportunities that SilverOne presents?
A, early stage production from the old heaps. Should the down dip high grade or a long strike resources pan out through additional drilling, they would be additive to production from the heaps, thus giving longevity to the mine, and on top of that probably increase the grade and increase the recoveries. On top of that, we have a project in Mexico that has very similar geological features to Arizona Mining's zinc, lead, silver project in Arizona, and they of course have grown their company to a 1.4 billion market cap company. So we're anxious to get down and drill that project and some of these other opportunities, as I said, for growing the company. We have enough money to do so much, but we're going to have to essentially eventually seek out other sources if we really want to expand.
And you've been at the One-to-One conferences in London, Singapore, and now New York. Tell us, why do you enjoy the conference so much?
It's a different format than other conferences. I mean, some of them have booths, which I'm not a particularly big fan of standing at a booth for 8 hours a day. This one here has a unique format. It has a lot of quality investors and companies that drop by, gives you the opportunity. It's a little different than some of the other speed dating conferences whereby you're forced to do a presentation every 20 minutes for 8 hours. Again, overly exhausting. And I just like the professionalism of the group that runs these conferences. So.
Well, Gregory, thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you very much.